Today, the Never-Never Evergrande. Hello again, it's Martin North from Digital Finance Analytics. Welcome to this post covering finance and property news with a distinctively Australian flavour. Well, the China Evergrande saga rumbles on as the ramifications of an easing Chinese property sector plays out. Bloomberg reported that some China Evergrande Group bondholders received an overdue interest payment shortly after the expiry of a grace period, buying more time for the debt-laden property developer as it tries to raise cash through asset sales. The shares actually were up nearly 10% on Friday to 278, but well off recent lows. But then, if you take a longer look, say 6-month view, then the story is rather different. It's still on the mat. Though I do still see some analysts saying both bonds and shares are a distressed bargain. Well, we'll see. I certainly wouldn't be buying. Certainly, certain holders of the 9.5% dollar note maturing in 2024 received notification that they had been paid last Thursday. Evergrande skipped an interest payment that was due on September the 29th, starting the clock on the 30-day grace period before investors could declare a default. Now, that's the second time this month that the debt-stricken property developer has avoided default right at the last moment, and it's not clear where the funds came from. The latest payment to international bondholders comes amid a sell-off in Chinese junk bonds that was paced on Thursday by China Group Holdings, one of the property sector's largest issuer of dollar debt. Evergrande pulled back from the brink of default last week by meeting that delayed coupon before the grace period ended. While that payment surprised some investors, the firm's notes remain at distress levels as creditors brace for an eventual debt restructuring that could rank among the largest ever in China. Evergrande dollar bonds are still priced at high risk of default. Advisors to Evergrande and its bondholders earlier this week signalled non-disclosure agreements in preparation for potential talks about managing developers' debt load, Bloomberg had reported earlier. And the ad hoc bondholder group advisors are seeking to exchange information with the company in what's often a first step towards negotiations for an overall restructuring deal. The payment, which was reported earlier by the New York Times, does buy more time for Evergrande as it tries to raise funds through asset sales. Chinese authorities have already begun laying the groundwork for a potential restructuring, assembling accounting and legal experts to examine the finances of the group. And authorities have told Evergrande's billionaire founder Hu Kaiyan to use his personal wealth to alleviate the property giant's debt woes. The directive adds to signs that Beijing is reluctant to orchestrate a government rescue, even as crises spread to other developers and sours sentiment in the real estate market and threatens to roil the world's second largest economy. A top Chinese regulator this week called on companies to make, quote, active preparations to make payments on their offshore bonds. But measuring Hu's financial firepower isn't easy, given that many of his assets are held through an intricate web of companies and affiliates that can obscure their ultimate owner. Since Evergrande went public in Hong Kong in 2009, Hu has collected more than $7 billion in dividends and deployed about $3.3 billion to buy company shares, bonds and luxury assets, according to Bloomberg analysis. Where the rest of those payouts ended up remains a mystery. Still, his luxury assets alone could help cover the more than $400 million in bond coupons that are yet to come due or have grace periods ending this year. The possessions valued at an estimated $485 million include a yacht, business jets and houses under his name or affiliates of the developer. Last month, Evergrande paid 2 bond coupons before the end of a grace period, following the pledge of some shares and a mansion. He needs to show that he is using at least some personal assets to pay off some debts, said Yu Shen, director of Asia Global Institute at the University of Hong Kong. He needs to show a lot of goodwill in order to avoid some more serious consequences. He bought his super yacht, valued at $45.1 million, by data provider Vessel Value in 2016 through Sky Great Limited, an affiliate incorporated in the Cayman Islands, with its principal place of business listed as Hong Kong in company filings. Sky Great's authorised representative, Jimmy Fong, has the same name as Evergrande's authorised representative, with a contact address at the China Evergrande Centre in Hong Kong. As at the 29th of October, the yacht was docked in Hong Kong's Tu Minh, about a 50-minute walk from Evergrande's Emerald Bay project. Event is a very distinctive design with a host of unique features that makes her very special in my eyes, said Tim Haywood, the boat's designer, highlighting features including larger than normal windows. The shipyard has produced and sold only 4 of those yachts, he added. I'm very proud. Companies linked to Evergrande own several business jets, a Gulfstream, an Airbus ACJ319 and an Airbus ACJ330, worth around $236 million combined, according to the average estimates from 3 aviation services. The second Airbus, an A330-200 Prestige, delivered with VIP fit-out in 2016, is one of 4 such planes in the world. US investors have already bought 2 Gulfstream jets from Evergrande for $50 million last month, according to a report from Dow Jones. The developer is currently seeking offers on the much pricier ACJ330, which it paid more than $220 million for. The Airbus ACJ319 boasts the Evergrande logo and was used in 2012 to send the company-owned soccer team to Saudi Arabia for a game, according to a Chinese media report. Q affiliates own 2 mansions in Hong Kong's Peak area, estimated to be worth around $204 million combined, again according to Bloomberg. Local media reported that both were developed by New World Development Co. of the Cheng family, known to be close allies of Hugh. And Hugh resigned in July as the sole director of Giant Hill Limited, the company that owns the house at 10C Black's Link, with associate Tan Hejiang taking up the role. Tan is also the director of the vehicle that controls 10B Black Links, the mansion pledged to China Construction Bank in Asia last month to help pay for a jumbo Fortune Enterprise debenture, again according to company filings. Apart from cash and divestible assets, whose stake in Evergrande and its property services unit are worth about $3 billion after their values slumped more than 55% this year, according to Bloomberg. Evergrande tried to sell the property management arm, but the deal fell through last month. And separately, the developer's automotive unit was nearing a sale of UK startup Protein Electric. Evergrande still owns its soccer team, whose lavish spending made veteran coach Marcelo Lippi one of the highest paid managers in the world. But now the club is seeking government aid to survive. And analysis in September estimated that Evergrande's soccer-related businesses are now effectively worthless. Now all of this shows, one, the very intricate web of transactions and deals and flows and assets and who holds them, which makes it quite hard to understand what's really going on. But secondly, there are certainly assets there, and some of those assets are clearly finding their way to pay short-term creditors. But is that going to be sufficient to get out of jail? I'm not sure. This is going to play out over the next few weeks and months, I think. But frankly, no one knows where this is going to end up. And the longer it goes on, the more widely the ramifications will be across the Chinese property sector and the Chinese economy and beyond. I'm Martin North from Digital Finance Analytics. Many thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.